Getting my camera aimed here. Greetings, Hive fans. It's Monday evening here in Florida. The sun's about ready to go down. It's a beautiful day out. Very hot has been. And we've got an exciting match this evening. The last match in Group E of the 2023 Hive Online World Championship Round Robin. This is apolloq versus Aenorman 43. This will be Game 3 and Game 4. First two games ended up with one game each. And so we're at one game apiece. And this is very important because the winner of this match will move on to the knockout rounds. The loser goes home. And I don't recall remembering exactly which, if they ended up in a draw, who makes it. But Alex has that's Aenorman 43, has a chance of winning the division if he can win, winning the group, if he can win both games tonight against apolloq. So, of course, John is going to be pressuring him very much to keep him from winning both games. So let's take a look here and make sure that I'm live here. I should be. It looks like I should be live, but I don't see myself yet. Looks like I am live. Okay, good. So let's get, they have started off and oh my, they are moving right along. So let's get the review room open. They are moving right along here. So let's see if we can get caught up here. These may not be placed in the right order, but we'll see what we can do about getting everything played. So apolloq is playing white and Alex is playing black. Okay, I believe we're caught up. So let's shrink that down. Okay, apolloq attacked with the spider, pinning the pill bug. White does not yet have the pill bug in play, so is Alex going to go for the choking the queen? Could do it a couple different ways. He could move in with the ant. I mean, in theory, if he could get both of these bugs in play, he could get the queen choked. But he's going after an ant farm, playing another ant. And white is very quickly going with a beetle attack. and Aenorman pins one of the beetles, pins the first beetle. Don't expect as many viewers this time of night as there was this early this morning. For one reason, this game wasn't announced as much as the games previously. And if you notice, white pins the ant here, and that sets up a pin-proof spawn point right here. So that second beetle could very easily come in right there. And if black decides to do something to stop that from happening, then the second beetle can come in down here. You're always looking for qualification for the win, and the easiest way to qualify for the win, of course, is to cover your opponent's queen and or pillbug. Third black ant comes in, and interesting, white is playing very quickly, looking at the possibility of putting an ant right there. If he puts the ant there, that gives the mosquito ant power. But you run the risk of getting that ant, getting this ant pinned or blocked into place. We don't have as many viewers this evening. I think it probably has a lot to do with the time of day, because right now it's really, really late over in Europe where a lot of the players are. So a lot of you will be watching this, I'm sure, after the fact rather than right live as we're doing it. So white is looking at the possibility of getting in playing the pillbug or not. One possibility for white would be to pin the mosquito and then bring an ant in, bring a beetle in there, because that would make it almost impossible to stop white from getting a bug atop the hive. And I know that apolloq is not listening in right now because there's nobody listening in right now. 0 concurrent viewers. So I'm just broadcasting this and recording it. So the question will be, the only way that black could stop that, because white can bring the beetle in there, the only way that black can possibly stop that is by bringing the black ant over to here. That, of course, would spend a tempo. Okay. Spider comes in there. Very good ambiguous spider. It can cap off the white ant. Okay, here comes Chris Nelson. Hi, Chris. Chris is one of the few players I've actually met in person. Glad to have you with us tonight, Chris. Plays under the name Ratcatcher. He's from Minneapolis, the same area where John Sandel, that's apolloq, is from. The black spider plays here. now the white beetle can come into there if he'd want. So this is a critical game for Quadlibet as well. It doesn't affect whether he's going to make the playoffs or not, because he already has. But if apolloq can get at least a single draw out of one of these last two games, then Quadlibet will win the group. So my guess is this spider is going to do the pin replacement here, freeing up this ant. And that's what he did. Both players are playing very quickly. So white can pin the black ant because this ant is somewhat trapped here. Although, again, like I said earlier, the black ant could come around to here and block and remove this spot as a spawn point. So it's a good thought, Chris. It's a bummer these two had to meet so early in the draw. They were on a team together in the Fair Play Cup. White still has not brought in the pill bug. I wonder if he's planning on bringing the pill bug into an attacking position. Of course, the grasshopper, if he places it there, does have the option of jumping to here, which could possibly free the mosquito. And that's what he does. He brings the grasshopper in, which also means that if black decides to pin the grasshopper, then using the ant as a spawn point for the beetles takes it one step further away from the queen. I don't recall whether each of the players won as white or if each of the players won as black, but right now the match is tied 1-1. White is in a situation here that it might be difficult to get that second beetle atop the hive. Oh, my phone just beeped. Oh, my phone is going dead. Okay, he did pin the grasshopper. White still has to get okay, we've got 2 viewers on now, so we know Chris is watching from Minneapolis, the Minnesota area. So who is that second concurrent viewer out there? Make sure that you drop me a note. Let me know who you are. We appreciate you joining us this evening. I would still be very much surprised if White doesn't attempt to use this spot right here as a spawn point for his second beetle. Or the other thing that White still has to worry about is getting the pill bug in, so might not be a bad idea to use that spot as a pill bug spawn point. We're not under any kind of time constraints yet. apolloq is 15.5 minutes and counting. Aenorman is 17.5 minutes and counting. This is very instructional for new players. Is where do you place the pin? Do you do the elbow pin, and then if you're able to get a pin replacement, the pin replacement would be in line? Or do you go ahead and go with the inline pin right at the moment? I still think it's okay, interesting. He's thinking about placing the pill bug out there. And he did. Both players have two, actually White has 3 mobile ants, Black has 2 mobile ants. It's close to a toss-up on the ant game. If Black decided to start a beetle attack, White would have enough ants to pin them both. Of course, Black could always move into here, creating the fill and freeing the mosquito that way. Okay. Grasshopper to here, and then the pill bug moved over to there. That's one of the things you always have to keep an eye on when the pill bug is in play. Without the pill bug, if this were not the pill bug, the only thing the black grasshopper could do would be to go to there. But as it is, the black grasshopper could move to there, freeing the mosquito. If you thought that was what Black was planning on doing, one thing you could do to stop it would be to bring in an ant to there, because then, oh, hey, we've got tough customers joining us this evening. Welcome, Joe. So he did what I expected he was going to do, was brought the grasshopper to there, which frees the black mosquito. Welcome to our live stream to Tough Customers. That's world champion, Hive author, Joe Schultz. And if you haven't already picked up his book, we're going to turn the review room off here and check out his book, Canon of Hive Groundwork. We're looking forward to Canon of Hive openings coming out very soon. Okay, Black Spider came in. Now it is interesting because now that all the black ants and the black mosquito, that's exactly what I was going to say, are pinned down, now would be a good chance to get the white beetle in, and that white beetle will be able to climb up. Of course, it does have a defending mosquito. They are playing very quickly. Only 20 minutes in, and we're already at move 31, going on move 32. So there's a couple things that Alex could do here. He could attack with the mosquito and then qualify for the win by separating the pill bug from the queen. Or he could jump out, giving the mosquito full mobility by keeping the ant pinned. We're up to 5 viewers. Say hello to everybody. We've got Chris Nelson and Joe Schultz are both in the house. So if the white beetle wants to go up, there's nothing that can stop it. The question would be, if the black mosquito jumps out, gaining ant power, of course, if it were apolloq's turn, the only thing that he could do right now really would be to get the beetle up. Because if the beetle tries to move forward, the pill bug can move away, or worse yet is the mosquito could jump out, pin the beetle, and then take beetle. Interesting. He jumped out with the grasshopper. That is very interesting. So he's not in a rush to get that beetle up. These are the points where where bug counting comes into play, because you always have to try to make sure that you have enough strength, enough mobile bugs to attack and surround your opposing queen. So black still has not brought in a beetle yet. Now he's going to have trouble getting a beetle into defensive position. Okay, he's going to go ahead and attack. Without the pill bug, you quite often see this ladybug mosquito defensive position here. With the pill bug, you quite often will see those bugs move out, but this does set up a very good non-pill bug defense, because if the beetle covers the pill bug and then white can get a bug into here, if white fills either one of these spots, then you've got a defending bug that can escape. See, now I don't think that's a good move, because the black spider could immediately pin it. And that now you've got a double pin that mosquito is lost as well. So John probably noticed that and decided against it. Of course, one danger here, one possibility for white is once the beetle covers the pill bug, then the mosquito can go to there, but that takes away ant power from the mosquito, ant movement from the mosquito, and then you could very well be allowing the black beetles to attack. So the question will be, what does the tempo counting, how does it turn out here? Okay, now that's an interesting one. Again, that beetle, very quick, he must have thought it through. Interesting. I kind of expected that he was going to use that to move the ant away. Make sure I am not missing anything here. I've been talking. Of course, the threat is the black beetle move forward, and then you've got direct drop spots. And again, the consideration, you place the elbow pin with the hope of getting a pin replacement. So black has 2 grasshoppers and a beetle. So if black were to cover the queen and the white mosquito were moved away, you would have 3 direct drop spots. So yep, white cannot allow that. White is almost forced to cover the mosquito. I'm sorry, cover the beetle. Now let's see, black still has 3 mobile pieces. White is down to 2 grasshoppers but has two ants mobile. Divincitore Divino. I'm a chess player and recently discovered Hive. I wonder why it isn't very known. Maybe because it's only created 20 years ago, probably in 2150. It'll be as popular as chess is now. You never know. We're trying very hard to change that right now. Black grasshopper comes in. Of course, that black grasshopper's headed to here to free that mosquito. That's exactly what we kind of expected that was going to happen. Okay, now why is he considering moving the ant to there? Because that mosquito has both grasshopper and ladybug power, so wherever that ant goes, the mosquito can jump out. Interesting, he does move it to there. Okay, maybe he moved it to there to set up an opportunity for a grasshopper placement, although currently that ladybug would be free if this kill spot were filled. Okay, the second black beetle comes in. Okay, that by not jumping out with the mosquito, it gives white the opportunity and time to get the grasshopper in to perform the pin replacement. So even if black is able to cover the mosquito and get the direct drop with the grasshopper, it's still not going to be enough. Make sure I'm not losing my way here. Okay. Now it's going to be difficult for white to have an angle of attack to that kill spot. Decided not to do that. So Da Vinciatore, do you play Hive online at either Board Space or Board Game Arena? Okay. Grasshopper comes in with an angle of attack to that kill spot. So now if the ant comes in, it forces a response from black. Okay, interesting. I was just looking at that because if the mosquito moved anywhere other than there, then the white ant could attack and that ladybug would be pinned. When we get into these endgame situations, it comes down to a point, does either player have what it takes to get a victory? Or is this headed to a draw? Yep, see, black moves out to stop that grasshopper. So black needs three bugs to win. It's got two easy with a grasshopper and a beetle. Okay. So he's using the grasshopper to anchor down the white grasshopper. Okay, it's a very, very instructional position here. White is putting black in Bugswang. But as long as he got that black beetle up, I don't think he's going to have to worry about that. Yep, I don't see that this is going to go anywhere other than a draw. And if I'm not mistaken, a draw here clinches the group title to Quadlibet. Yep, Aenorman has offered a draw. Let's turn on the room here. Oh, ended up a draw. Yep. Didn't really expect anything different than that as it got down toward the end, because neither player had enough bugs to execute a victory. So I'm going to shrink, get rid of this, reopen the review room. Get the lobby back open. Getting ready for game 2. Need to make sure that I get my private room so nobody comes in and disturbs me while I'm watching. Okay. So apolloq says, hey man, can we talk about the next one quick? So while they're doing that, while they're discussing this next one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that off. So that means here are the standings. So if Aenorman wins with 2.5 points, then Quadlibet is guaranteed to the championship. So Quadlibet has clinched first spot in Group E. Sorry about that. So Quadlibet has gotten the first spot in Group E clinched. And this last game will be a winner-take-all for the second spot in Group E. Let's take a look to see if they draw. Aenorman already has 1.5 match points. Apollo has 1 match point. So if they draw, Aenorman will move on. So this next game is going to be win or go home for apolloq. I only see the apolloq's half the conversation. I don't see Alex Norman's half the conversation. So the question is, are we going to be seeing a game 4 tonight, or are they going to play the game 4 tomorrow? The deadline for the round robin was actually yesterday, but the tournament committee gave them an extension. There was another match earlier in the day where Louise and Navir played, and Louise clinched his spot into the knockout rounds. So I still don't see any conversation going on. Let's see, are they in? They are not in the room. So we're still waiting for a discussion between them. They must be having a private conversation. These two players are very familiar with one another, as Chris Nelson had mentioned earlier. They were on the Hive Cup team together. They did a lot of practicing together as well. Okay, so we're waiting for that. Let's go back and take a quick look at the knockout rounds. We've got world champion Judoka up against Louise, Indus against Dudders, Gandak against Chigi. The winner of Group E, which will be Quadlibet against Hive 2, Stepanzo against whoever wins this next game. It was draw Aenorman will move on. KP 3 against the only other spot that we don't have filled out yet is second place in Group D. We've got Group D, Woo Woot and Semax. If Woo Woot is playing against Mangusta, if Woo Woot wins, then they will move on. If it's a draw, then Semax will move on. But unfortunately, Woo Woot hasn't responded, so he might be forfeiting. Oh, okay, Aenorman's in room 3, so maybe we're going to be starting here very soon. Nope, he's reviewing. So that's the last spot. So the last two spots are second place in Group E, which is the winner of this next game will take that second spot, and then Woo Woot or Semax, depending on how the Woo Woot and Mangusta match turns out. So I'm going to type in something in the lobby. Are we going to see a game for tonight? Question mark. So from this point on, it's mano a mano, head to head. Of the 32 players that qualified for the championship, 16 of them will now be playing in a single elimination. The first match, the round of 16, are 4-game matches. One player plays white, black, black, and then white. And if it's tied at the end of 4 games, they play 2 more games. They keep playing 2-game pairs until a winner is determined. Once the round of 16 is over and we're into the quarterfinals, at that point it becomes a 6-round match. 6-game match, first one to 3.5. So I guess we're still waiting on an answer here, whether they're going to be playing game 4 tonight or not. I guess what I could do is I could go over to Discord to see if they're having any conversation over there. Okay, I'm glad I went over to Discord because it looks like they got one in tonight. They're looking to play around 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That's 2000 hours GMT. No game for tonight. Tomorrow will be okay. I am sure. Even though I'm on the committee, I don't have the position that I can make that decision completely, but I'm sure, knowing Frasco and Navier the way I do, they won't have a problem with Game 4 being played tomorrow. So, that's going to be it for this evening. What a great game. We saw a draw between apolloq and Aenorman 43. Match is now tied at 1.5 points apiece. Tomorrow's game will be Aenorman playing white. All he needs is a draw, but we've learned quite often that you can't play for a draw. You have to play for a victory. If you get a draw, okay, but if you play for a draw, you play too conservatively, you might end up losing. So, that's it for the live stream today. We had 2 live streams today. We had one earlier this morning with Louise and Navier, Game 3. Then I had to go to work, sadly. But this evening, we saw Game 3 from apolloq and Aenorman. So, we appreciate everybody that joined. We welcome everybody again to the Hive community. As always, don't forget you can support the channel by checking the links down below. If you haven't already purchased my book, Play Hive Like a Champion, the 2nd edition, it's available. Also the Hive Lexicon and also the Standard Hive Opening Encyclopedia, all available on Amazon. And of course, the Canon of Hive Groundwork. If you don't always have a copy of the Canon of Hive Groundwork, if you click the link down below and you purchase it through that link, I get a little tiny share of that as well. So, we appreciate everybody that joined us this evening. We didn't have as many people watching because most of you over in Europe are already in bed by this time. But hopefully tomorrow afternoon, which would be tomorrow evening, European time, we'll have a bigger crowd. I will be aiming for taking off work early and live streaming Game 4 tomorrow night as well. So, as always, I am here helping you play Hive like a champion. Until next time, this is Randy Ingersoll signing off.